We've got a missing person we're making a few inquiries about, and yeah, your name just came up in the course of our inquiries. Who had a child in 1968, so he may be the victim of a murder.
You know, when I reported it to the police, their first reaction was that she'd run away. You know, you couldn't sort of convince them, no, she hadn't run away.
She wouldn't even go out in the dark to put a bin out, let alone just disappear.
What year did she go missing?
1996.
See that lady over there? Looks just like Tarlay. Very similar. It's just heartbreaking not knowing.
Following the nationwide publication of this photo, police have received a number of credible sightings on 39-year-old Tarlay Pless, who's been missing nearly a decade.
He actually saw Tarlay Pless being escorted by 2 police officers out of St Mary's Cathedral.
Constable Diana Casey is in charge of investigating every reported sighting, and with the help of Darren Connerbeer, is also searching a national database for any other leads.
What we're doing now at the moment is eliminating anyone that definitely doesn't look anywhere near what our missing person looks like. No.
Case by case, they hone in on the images looking for any details to match against their photo.
Even though the date of birth is wrong, and that's what Sergeant and I said.
So, armed with 7 possible matches, the footwork begins on tracking down Tarlay.
What year did she go missing?
1996. So you got to give and take age. And...
Is she a working girl?
No, we don't believe so.
Only check and see.
Some of the strongest reports place Tarlay in the inner city.
Hopefully we'll find Tarlay.
Diana Casey decides to focus the search there. Treading the same path as police, Richard Pless, Tarlay's brother, continues his own search for his missing sister.
Tarlay was leading an active, normal lifestyle. Very pretty girl, very tall, hazel eyes. I saw Natalie and Bruglia on TV the other day, and they looked almost identical. That's what Tarlay looks like. She's an attractive girl. See that lady over there? Looks just like Tarlay. Very similar. The gait is very similar, the hair is very similar. We just want to know that she's safe, she's sound. Every time I come up and visit Mum, we always talk about Tarlay, and you can just see that she's going to start crying again. Because you don't lose a child and laugh and smile all the time. You just can't.
The police are eliminating new leads one by one.
You don't know where she's gone, though?
It all depends what story you heard.
Yeah.
She just up and left.
Okay, all right.
Well, what I heard that she went to Victoria.
Probably another line of inquiry to do, obviously run her name in again and see if we can come up with another address.
Forehead.
The nose is in
The round forehead.
As Diana Casey continues to match the fresh sightings against the thousands of faces in the police database. Across town, in a park Tarlay used to love, the pressure finally catches up with her brother, Richard.
It's just heartbreaking not knowing that Tarlay's okay. Just make a phone call, please. God, I'll pay for your phone call if you want to send it. Want it in reverse, whatever, I don't care.
Darren Connerbeer is hard at work on the case of long-term missing woman Lynette Belpin.
The big thing is obviously letting the family know about the information, which is always difficult because it stirs up a lot of emotion. We've got some fresh information in relation to her case, and we'd like to come out and see you if that's okay.
Well, on the Sunday night she went to babysit a friend's children, Mount Druitt. And I worked at Woolworths at the time, and she'd come in there and said, could she go to her boyfriend's place? And I said, yeah, and she said, pick me up when you finish work, which was 5:30. And when I went to pick her up, she wasn't there.
You know, when I reported it to the police, they immediately, their first reaction was that she'd run away. You know, you couldn't sort of convince them that, no, she hadn't run away because, you know, she's very close to her twin sister, and that wouldn't have been the case.
But, I mean, she wouldn't even go out in the dark to put a bin out, let alone just disappear.
Then you go to the coroner's court and you hear them say that somewhere around about the June 5th, 1972, that our daughter met her death. And, you know, that's hard to take.
Darren is now on the phone to detectives investigating the Lynette Belpin case. And based on this new information from police, the coroner has reopened this 34-year-old case.
All right, that sounds interesting. I'm sure the family will be happy to hear about that.
Well, we haven't lost the plot, so to speak. You know, we just We talk about Lynette like she's still around somewhere and just, in the conversations.
We had 4 children. We've still got 4 children, but one of them we don't know where she is.
Darren and Diana are at Penrith Police Station to investigate the new evidence in the 34-year-old case of Lynette Melpin.
We're reopening it because we've received information from a former member of the Penrith community who has seen a person with Lynette in the weeks leading up to her disappearance.
Yep.
That person was a lot older than her. It was really out of character for Lynette to be with them, and really no one else has known about this until now.
The only reason why they came forward now, because she went missing back in 1972, so...
The person was fairly young at the time and thought that the police basically had the investigation covered and that they definitely would have spoken to this person of interest, but it seems to be the case that the people who actually knew Lynette didn't know that she had any association with this fellow at all. So
Back at the Melpins' home, police arrived to break some good news to Pamela and Terry. Detective Peter Folkes tells the family that after 34 years, a witness has come forward and identified a man seen with Lynette just before she vanished.
We're waiting for records to come to us in relation to that, and from this stage forward, we've still got some statements to take from Lynette's boyfriend of the time. We'll move on to the people that were closer to this person. We're basically just building up all of the information we can before we start moving closer to the person.
The process is, at this stage, probably for you, is looking slow and lengthy, but if we go in too early, could be cutting ourselves off. So we'll try and do that in one hit. What we want to do is just show you a photo which has been handed to us.
Is there anyone in there that you recognise at all?
Only here.
It clearly shows the man seen with Lynette just before she disappeared. For Pam and Terry, the stakes have never been higher. The photo may hold the key to the mystery of their daughter's disappearance.
I just want a result, that's all.
The look on Terry's face says it all. There's no mistaking. Terry recognises a face from the past.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Melbourne, Diana and I will leave now. I think Shane and Peter still want to have a bit of a chat with you.
It's the result police have been hoping for.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. No worries. See you, Diana. In this instance, we really don't know what happens. There may be some case that there may be some suspicion attached to her disappearance, but yet that's yet to be found out.
Anybody who sees this and does know something or whatever, it would be appreciated if they did tell the police and whatever, because just knowing, as Pam said, if we get a result so that we can put Lynette to rest, would be marvellous.
While it is a fresh lead, there's absolutely no guarantees that it will end up in any sort of result. But again, it still has to be followed up. The difficult thing is obviously the family are now grasping onto some new hope that there might be, this information may lead somewhere. We'll just have to wait and see what the result of those inquiries are.
Mark picked up on the trail of Bill Roach, missing for 12 years.
You couldn't help but like him.
Forensic evidence now suggests that Bill may have been murdered. Blood samples were collected from his house.
We're looking for evidence of foul play, basically.
A match with his mother's DNA would have proved whether it was Bill's blood. A promising lead until Mark discovered that Yvonne was not Bill's biological mother.
It's a blow because we're back to square one. What my role is now is to find a biological relative of Bill Roach.
In his search for Bill's biological mother, Mark has only one clue left. Luckily, his adoptive mother, Yvonne, knew the hospital where Bill was born, and the hope is that Bill's birth card is still on file.
We've got a missing persons case from someone who went missing in Armidale 12 years ago. We're doing certain searches to locate his remains. There's no other way to put it. If we do, we'll obviously need a DNA sample to compare it to, so we're thinking of newborn screening cards. How long are newborn screening cards retained for? 18 years. So if this gentleman was born in 1968, then that's almost 40 years ago, so definitely not, righto. Okay, so it's definitely government policy that after 18 years they destroy it. Bill Roach's card would no longer exist.
It's a blow for Mark. His only hope now is to find Bill's biological mum by some other means. So, with Bill's birth card destroyed, Mark Samways' only lead
Mother's name.
is the name of his biological
Date of birth of the
mother
baby.
held in the hospital archives.
Information that was given to me from Yvonne, and I contacted the hospital where I believe Bill was born, and now I have a name for Bill's biological mum.
The hope is that she is still alive.
A policeman in a tiny little town in the Hunter Valley made a few inquiries on my behalf yesterday, and I now have a phone number for Bill's biological mum. So I'm going to make contact with her today and speak to her and collect a DNA sample. So it's worked out well.
What Margaret doesn't know, and what Mark can't reveal over the phone, is that the baby boy she gave away 25 years ago may now be dead.
We've got a missing person we're making a few inquiries about, and yeah, your name just came up in the course of our inquiries, and I just need to speak to you about it. Hello, pleased to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Margaret Weeks has no idea why she's been called into police headquarters. What she's about to learn from Mark is traumatic and extremely personal. He doesn't want to deliver his news on the phone or at home amongst family who may not know about the baby she once had.
You probably have no idea why, right? You're aware we're the missing persons unit, and we look at people who have gone missing. So I'll just confirm a few things. You're obviously Margaret Mary Weeks.
Yes.
And you were born in 1948?
Yes.
Okay, no worries. You had a child in 1968?
Yes.
Gave birth to a male child?
Yes.
Dennis?
Dennis,
Right,
yes.
that you gave up for adoption?
Yes.
All right, that's what this is in relation to. All right, I can see a bit nervous. Would you like a cold drink, a bottle of water, cup of tea? What would you like? Can I get you anything? Okay. Could you get a bottle of water, please? We'll just get you a drink of water.
Sorry.
No, you're right. I have as much time as you need, okay?
It's an uncomfortable moment for everyone.
I just couldn't keep two babies. Just, you know, I knew I couldn't give him what somebody else could give him when I already had another boy.
Why we are interested in that background is because Dennis was subsequently renamed Bill. 12 years ago, that young man was reported missing as a missing person.
Right.
Now, subsequent investigations have indicated that he may have met with foul play. So he may be the victim of a murder. All right? Not confirmed. If down the track a set of remains is found, so a body is found or bones are found or other forensic evidence is found.
You need my DNA.
I need a DNA sample, that's right.
Yeah, no worry.
Not a very easy task for me to ask of you, but that's why I needed to speak to you, and that probably also, you can understand why I didn't do it over the phone.
I'm just numb, really. I always thought about him.
Just get you to pull that out.
What can you say? This is so hard.
Just, both sides all around the inside of your mouth.
I always wonder why he never tried to contact me, and I used to think, oh, have I got any more grandchildren? And you don't forget when you have a child. Nobody forgets. You can't ever forget that. No mother can. The boys are going to want to know today what this is all about, you know. So now I've got to tell them.